from around the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning.
Coming up, parties collide. How political experts see the race for Congress playing out in Illinois' 15th district, which now has attracted national attention.
As you're waking up this morning, we've got clear skies across the area as high pressure is still well in control across the region. We'll have the details on the rain that's on the way coming up here in just a few minutes.
Plus, Quincy plans a community forum next week to focus on recycling in the Gem City. KHQA This Morning starts now.
Live from the tri-states, you're watching KHQA News, working for you.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us and waking up with us on this Thursday. It is June 30th, and before we get into the headlines, I'm Raja Maples, and let's check in with Kason Frericks, who's filling in for KHQA's Tegan Orpid this morning for a first check of your Thursday weather.
Yeah, hi Raja, and good morning to you out there. It's a nice morning as we're waking up once again. Pretty quiet out there as we've been experiencing all this week, although temperatures as we're waking up a little bit warmer than what we've been experiencing here after temperatures warmed up yesterday here, and we're going to kind of continue that trend here kind of to end our week with these warmer temperatures right now. Here's a check of those. 70 Fort Madison and Keokuk right now, 69 here in Quincy. A little bit cooler across portions of west central Illinois. Mount Sterling at 64 degrees, Macomb at 66, and across the river there in Missouri, Novelty's currently sitting at 65 degrees. High pressure still in control. All the action in terms of precipitation well off towards our north, and it's going to be another one of those days pretty similar to yesterday. Quite a bit of sunshine out there, and those temperatures once again set to be roaring into the lower 90s across the region.
All right, thank you, Kason. Now that we've made it through that primary election in the land of Lincoln, all eyes are on the midterm elections this November, and the heat is on in Illinois' newly redrawn 15th congressional district. David Pierce spoke with political experts about this race for a spot on Capitol Hill. Tuesday's election for Illinois governor narrowed down 8 Republican candidates to 2, and now State Senator Darren Bailey hopes to unseat Governor J.B. Pritzker, stating that he wants to compromise at the Capitol.
I can vouch for the fact of being in the Illinois legislature the last 4 years. I've not had a seat at the table, and neither has any Republican. This is a Governor Pritzker-owned agenda that has destroyed our state, and that's why I think that people are going to be ready for change in November.
While Governor Pritzker has not spoken publicly on Wednesday, he did double down on his vision for Illinois during his victory speech Tuesday night.
I believe deeply in the fundamental rights of every person to live a life of their own design with acceptable, accessible health care, quality education, safe schools, clean air, reproductive freedom, and civil rights.
Here's your KHQA Elite Weather Team forecast.
A few degrees warmer as we're waking up this morning on our Thursday. This comes after temperatures yesterday rose into the lower 90s across the region.
All right, thank you, Kason. In health news now, Pike County, Illinois is now one of several tri-state counties that rank high for COVID-19 transmission right now. Per CDC guidance, when a community in a high community level ranks that high, residents are asked to wear a mask when indoors in public, stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines, and get tested if you have symptoms. The Pike County, Illinois Health Department will continue COVID-19 vaccine clinics on Thursdays during the month of July. They'll take place from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. You can find out more information on our website, khqa.com. There will soon be more healthy food options in Illinois schools. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a new House bill into law on Wednesday. It gives school districts incentives to promote the health and well-being of students, source local food products, and value the welfare of animals. This will allow Illinois school districts to improve the evaluation process for potential food service vendors. The law is effective immediately. It's now against the law to discriminate against someone in the workplace in Illinois for their natural hair. Governor Pritzker signed the Crown Act into law on Wednesday. It codifies protections for Illinois residents discriminated against because of hairstyles, now historically associated with specific racial groups. The act categorizes traits such as hair texture or protective styling as race-based and therefore protected under bans against racial discrimination. The city of Quincy is holding a public forum on its recycling program. It'll take place next week on July 6th, starting at 6 p.m. That forum is planned for the Quincy Town Center Community Room. The city will take input on how the community would like to see the program change. Right now, the program loses around $300,000 to $350,000 a year. Usually, it's subsidized out of the garbage or the general fund. But with the possibility of an economic downturn, the city wanted to be preemptive about that problem.
With the increase in all of the costs of gas and everything else, and with the prospect of sales taxes being pinched this year, with the recession possibility, we felt we needed to get in front of this and just see what the alternatives could be for recycling.
The city is looking at two options for the future of the program. The first is to turn to a bi-weekly pickup. Second would be to set up recycle sites where you could dump your own recycling. If you'd like to give your input beforehand, a survey has been set up on quincyil.gov. In your community now, do you have a talent you would like to showcase, or are you interested in being entertained at the local level? Well, if so, Hannibal's Got Talent is planned this Monday afternoon on July 4th. Whether you're native to the area or joining the 67th annual National Tom Sawyer Days, the Hannibal JCs invite everyone to an afternoon of fun.
And solo or group performances are welcomed. Registration is set to open at 1 p.m. with performances beginning at 2 that afternoon inside the Tanyard Gardens. Online registration is available. Just head over to HannibalJCs.org. Sounds like a very fun event. I'm sure there's going to be a different collective, a lot of people showing off their talents. Raj, I feel like you might have competed in this one time. I know you can sing over there.
You know what? This is a new event. Else I would have, but I kind of got my start. I was a Miss Hannibal back in the day, and I started singing, and I met Carol Sowers, a former anchor here at KHQA. She was my judge. That was years ago, and the rest is history. But I really got my start in so many ways at in Hannibal most. So yeah, that would be fun. I've been there before, just in a different way. So thank you so much, and that'll be just a blast. I love to sing. Well, we would like to remind you that you can receive breaking news and local stories delivered weekday right to your inbox. All you have to do is sign up for KHQA's free newsletter at khqa.com/sign up.
From around the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning.
New government data out Wednesday showed that the U.S. economy shrank slightly more than previously thought, by 1.6%. Forecasts are split on whether things will turn around. National correspondent Autral Elnashar has a look at how Americans are cutting back during this uncertain time. Airbnb slams the door on house parties with a permanent ban. The company says that people who violate this rule could either be suspended or even removed from the platform. A temporary ban on parties went into effect shortly after the start of the pandemic to stop the spread of COVID. There had also been reports of customers holding unauthorized wagers and ragers in the homes they rented through the platform. This permanent ban also comes on the heels of an Airbnb party earlier this year in Pittsburgh. That's where 2 people died and several other people were hurt. The U.S. government wants Google and Apple to remove TikTok from their app stores. The Federal Communications Commission member Brendan Carr sent a letter to those companies' CEOs last week asking them to do so. He cited a BuzzFeed report that accuses TikTok parent company ByteDance of accessing user data. ByteDance is Chinese-owned, which has put it in the crosshairs of federal officials for years. Neither Google nor Apple have commented on the matter. Delisting TikTok would not stop users from downloading it. Thank you, Kason. And we want to remind you, here's your time to chime. If you would like to see your photo on the show, just log on to khqa.com/chime-in, upload it, and it could make it as our KHQA Daily Pick. I see some really fun photos on there. It's now 5:22 a.m. on this Thursday, and coming up in your morning brew, the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from World War II has died at the age of 98. Details on his service next. All right, thank you, Kason. In your morning brew now, the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from World War II died on Wednesday at the age of 98. Herschel Woodrow Williams, affectionately known as Woody, was decorated for his heroism during the Battle of Iwo Jima. President Harry Truman, of course from the state of Missouri, personally awarded the Medal of Honor to Williams at the White House in 1945.
And Woody Williams' service didn't end there. He served the VA for 33 years and created a foundation to support Gold Star families. There are plans for the body of West Virginia's hero to lie in the state capitol, or in-state at the Capitol in Charleston. Obviously, that's a great story there, and obviously he made tremendous sacrifices throughout all of his life in terms of his service and everything. I'm happy to see that he did have that the Medal of Honor and whatnot, so kudos to him.
And as we approach the 4th of July holiday, you know, I know that we honor our veterans on Veterans Day and Memorial Day, but as we approach the 4th of July holiday, we'd also give a salute to all of our veterans out there. Thank you so much for giving us our freedom, because you are the reason why we are celebrating the 4th of July. So thank you, Kason, and thank you, veterans at home. Well, the time is now 5:27 a.m. on this Thursday morning. Taking a live look at Quincy from our Skycam. You're watching KHQA This Morning.
From around the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning.
Rise and shine, everyone. Good morning. I'm Raja Maples, and thank you so much for starting your Thursday morning with us. It is, believe it or not, June 30th, the last day of the June. How did that happen? Well, but before we get into the headlines, let's check in with Kason Frericks. He's covering in for Taken Orbit this morning for a first check of the weather. Kason, how are things shaping up?
Yeah, hi Raja. Doesn't this month felt like it has just flown on by? Hard to believe that we're getting ready to start the month of July here across.
All right, thank you, Kason. Remember today's date. It'll be a topic for future history tests and also trivia nights. Today, for the first time ever, a black woman is being sworn into the U.S. Supreme Court. Amy Kiley reports. Now, by the way, the court is expected to start releasing its final rulings at 10 o'clock this morning. Of course, that is Eastern time. That planned protest is over a case involving the Environmental Protection Agency. The court could strip it of its power to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants. Another high-profile case deals with immigration. It's about whether the Biden administration can end the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico border policy. Well, with the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court, the state of Illinois can expect to see an increase of travelers to the state for abortion care. Every state bordering Illinois has already prohibited abortions or is expected to in the upcoming weeks. In 2020, almost 20% of Illinois performed abortions were patients from out of state. This number is expected to increase greatly.
We've been able to proactively take steps to increase our capacity in anticipation of the surge of patients who are forced to travel here for care. And we're expecting to see an influx of up to 20 to 30 times the number of patients who are coming to us from out of state seeking that essential reproductive health care.
Now, the increase of travelers is predicted to not affect the abortion care of Illinois residents. Planned Parenthood of Illinois has 2 new facilities on the Illinois borders of Indiana and Wisconsin, as well as an abortion pill by mail program for Illinois residents. Let's talk about the 4th of July. Everybody loves the 4th of July, well, except for dogs. If your Independence Day plans include fireworks, law enforcement remind people most types of fireworks within city limits are illegal in the state of Illinois. The Illinois state statute and also a City of Quincy ordinance prohibit not only discharging fireworks, but the mere possession of them as well. Now, the Quincy Police Department warns anyone violating these laws will be subject to a citation and a fine. Police advise people to leave the fireworks to the experts. Speaking of which, there will be many holiday closures throughout the city of Quincy as we get closer to Independence Day. For example, the Quincy City Hall and Central Services will be closed on Monday, July 4th. There will still be garbage, recycling, and yard waste picked up on that day. City Council meeting will take place the next day, though, on Tuesday, July 5th, and transit lines will be operating on their holiday weekend schedule. Impaired driving is not a game. The 4th of July traffic enforcement encourages safe, sober driving, and summer is now in full swing. Traffic fatalities are on the rise. The Illinois Department of Transportation is teaming up with the Illinois State Police and law enforcement throughout the state. Now drivers will see drive sober or get pulled over. Campaigns in action will take place throughout July 5th. In your community, it is a 4th of July parade. We are talking about the 67th annual National Tom Sawyer Days Parade. It is planned on Monday morning, July 4th. Lineup and registration start at 9 a.m. at Save-A-Lot parking lot in Hannibal. The parade starts at 10 a.m.
The parade will travel up Broadway and turn left onto North Main Street. Registration is available online at hannibaljcs.org or the morning of the parade in the Save-A-Lot parking lot. Lots of different events going on this weekend, of course. The KHQA Faithful going to be out at the at this parade. We'll be in it, and we're going to have some live coverage of it too, I believe.
That's right. I believe that Tegan Orpet and I will be hosting it so that you can see it at home via social media, on our website, and so on. So it is always such a fun time in America's hometown on the morning of July 4th. So we hope to see you out there. If not in person, then through the lines of social media and television and so on. Well, as gas prices continue to rise, you may not be running your car's air conditioning as much. So what is a way to keep your car cool when you first step in? Guinevere Gordon has an idea on America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knox.
From around the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning.
A potential breakthrough in the 1955 case of 14-year-old Emmett Till's kidnapping and lynching. A team searching the basement of a Mississippi courthouse has found the unserved warrant charging a white woman in Till's kidnapping. Now in her 80s, Carolyn Bryant Donham set off the case by accusing Till of making advances at her. Days later, Till's brutalized body was found dumped in a river. Now Donham's then husband and his half-brother were acquitted of the murder, but later admitted to it. Relatives of Till are calling on authorities to finally arrest Donham, saying the discovery amounts to new evidence. I love it, and I love the 4th of July. Thank you, Kaysen. From Texas to Washington, a desperate sheriff reaching out for help again in what's now being called the worst human smuggling event in the U.S. Those on the ground are searching for answers. As national correspondent Christine Frizzell reports, they are answers that will not come easily.
They call it the invisible epidemic. I'm Liz Bonus. The latest on fighting addiction and just who's being impacted in a way we've not seen before. It is just ahead.
And look at this, such an exciting scene in America's hometown. Here's a live look right outside of Tanyard Gardens in Hannibal, where the National Tom Sawyer Days Carnival will kick off tonight starting at 5 p.m. Now, I'm not getting on any of these carnival rides, but I'm excited just by the sight of them. They will continue through the next several days, and you can expect carnival rides and events for all ages. Not just a carnival, but mud volleyball continues tonight as well. We'll have more on KHQA This Morning when we come back. New concerns today from addiction specialists as numbers climb in a population not previously seen at risk for substance use disorders. Medical reporter Liz Bonus has the details.
Hey there, everybody. This pandemic has been hard on all of us, but a new alarming report shows it may have been especially hard on older adults. They are now one of the fastest growing groups of those struggling with addiction. A report from WebMD shows it's much more than a casual drink or a pain pill now and then. More older adults are abusing alcohol and drugs. Some reports estimate substance abuse disorders among people over age 50 have now hit almost 6 million. That happened in 2020. That's more than double the number compared to 2006. It has been called the invisible epidemic.
That population is a missed population.
The addiction team at Ohio's Dakota Rehabilitation says we can likely attribute this to many big changes happening to people later in life. There also may be additional stress and anxiety due to retirement, loss of loved ones, loneliness, sleep problems, family conflicts, and financial concerns. This report also shows some people turn to alcohol or drugs to soothe worries and fill the time. And baby boomers, those born between 1946 and 1964, came of age when opinions about alcohol, marijuana, and other drugs were changing. Some kept those views as they aged. It is never too late, however, to reach out for help.
I think there's the encouragement on my end is saying, look, even if it's been bad for a long time, or if you don't think it's, come in, we'll just talk, we'll figure something out. And just that extra encouragement might take a little longer, but we do end up getting them in.
Part of the reason counselors and addiction outreach teams are reaching out about this right now is to let older adults know they're not alone, and many do have programs which focus on overcoming addiction at any age. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Now back to you.
It's now 5:53 a.m. on this Thursday, and coming up in your morning brew, forget extra legroom. And Air New Zealand may soon be offering beds to economy class passengers. Details on this Sky Nest after the break right here on KHQA This Morning. In your morning brew, forget extra legroom. Air New Zealand may soon offer beds to economy class passengers. The carrier has unveiled its Sky Nest idea, which is 6 full-size sleeping pods for travelers on its upcoming Boeing 787 Dreamliners. These planes are expected to make their debut in the year 2024.
And the pods will be stacked like bunk beds and come with features including a pillow, bedding, and a ventilation outlet. This could come in handy as Air New Zealand does have some of the lengthiest flights in the entire world. Later this year, the carrier will start a nonstop flight from Auckland to New York with a flight time of approximately 17 hours. I feel if you are on a plane for 17 hours, you're certainly going to need a sort of Sky Nest kind of bed thing with a pillow and everything else. I think that's well deserved if you're flying on that. It also looks very futuristic, kind of looks like something out of like Star Trek or more of a outer space type feel.
That's right, and that light probably is very soothing. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think in 2020 I saw these created for offices so that, you know, if you got a little too stressed or something, or, you know, what happens in a work setting, you can just go into your pod, just calm that central nervous system down and just take a 20-minute siesta, and boom, you're as good as new. So I say we order one of those for our studio, maybe for commercial breaks.
I think so.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Here's your KHQA Elite Weather Team forecast.
Thank you, Kason. It's now 5:59 a.m. on this Thursday morning, and look at this gorgeous morning in the Tri-States. You're taking a look at Quincy from our Skycam. I see the Tangerine Bowl right there, and the baseball field for Quincy High School. Well, coming up on the next hour, more headlines and weather right here on KHQA This Morning.
From around the Tri-States, this is KHQA This Morning.
Well, coming up, we have several bill signings in the state of Missouri, and we'll bring you the latest on what they mean for Missouri taxpayers.
And as you're waking up this morning, clear skies once again across the Tri-States, leading us to lots of sunshine this afternoon. But will the dry weather stick around? We'll have the latest in your forecast coming up.
Plus, a community forum planned next week to talk about recycling in the city of Quincy. what you need to know about the future of the program, now on KHQA This Morning.
Live from the Tri-States, you're watching KHQA News, working for you.
Happy morning, everyone, and thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm Raja Maples. It is, believe it or not, Thursday, June 30th, and we are talking about lots of headlines this morning that you need to know about. But first, let's talk about the headlines topping weather with our own KHQA meteorologist, Kason Frericks, filling in for Tegan Orpet.
Yeah, hi Raja, and good morning to you as well out there. We continue to see a mild start as we're waking up these mornings, although today, a few degrees warmer.
All right, thank you, Kason. In the news now, Missouri Governor Mike Parson signed legislation dealing with utilities, charter schools, property rights, and elections. Now, the election portion of this legislation will impact virtually anyone who casts a ballot. And property rights laws will have a direct impact on mid-Missouri taxpayers. Kermit Miller breaks down what all this means for you.
The city of Jefferson has run into repeated legal roadblocks in the demolition of dilapidated buildings on East Capitol Avenue. One problem is the attachment of heritage value, which can increase the cost and delay the process. House Bill 1606 gives cities new courtroom tools to get around that.
Right out the door of the Capitol, we have some properties that are dilapidated, and this allows revitalization of that entire area.
This is also about public safety because the buildings that we're talking about are derelict, they're falling down.
House Bill 1552 was a favorite of alternative education advocates.
All right, here we go.
It protects virtual learning and it equalizes the funding between regular public schools in an urban district and any charter schools in that district.
These kids have got to get an education, and I don't care where they get it, I really don't. All I want them to do is get it.
But all eyes today were on House Bill 1878, a massive elections reform package that did away with drop boxes and mail-in ballots approved during the pandemic. It requires new security features for voting machines and the generation of paper ballots. And after court problems with previous bills, it takes a third shot at a requirement for voter photo IDs.
The day after the 2020 election, you and I sat down in your office, and your message to me then was, it was easy to vote, there were no problems, people should have no concerns about the integrity of this election. If that's the case, why are we here doing this?
Because I think we should make sure that that is always the message that we can give to the people of the state. I think it's ridiculous that there are some areas of government in which we would say we shouldn't always try to make them better.
Now, Democrat critics of the election reform say that they're designed to limit access by certain voters more inclined to vote for them. The elections bill contained no emergency clauses, and that means it does not take effect until August 28th, after the Missouri primary elections, but before the November general election. Photo IDs and the necessary documentation will be provided free of charge.
Here's your KHQ
to start next week.
All right, thank you, Kason. In health news now, Pike County, Illinois is one of several tri-state counties now rating as high for COVID-19 community transmission levels. Per CDC guidance, when a community is rated in a high community level, residents are asked to wear a mask when indoors in public, stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines, and get tested if you have symptoms. The Pike County Health Department will continue COVID-19 vaccine clinics on Thursdays during the month of July. They'll take place from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. For more information, just visit our website at khqa.com. There will soon be more healthy food options in Illinois schools. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a new House bill into law on Wednesday. It gives school districts incentives to promote the health and well-being for students, source local food products, and value the welfare of animals. This will allow Illinois school districts to improve the evaluation process for potential food service vendors. The law is effective immediately. It's now against the law to discriminate against someone in the workplace in Illinois for their natural hair. Governor Pritzker signed the Crown Act into law on Wednesday. It codifies protections for Illinois residents discriminated against because of hairstyles historically associated with specific racial groups. The act categorizes traits such as hair texture or protective styling as race-based and therefore protected under bans against racial discrimination. The city of Quincy is holding a public forum on its recycling program. The forum will take place next week, July 6th, starting at 6 p.m. at the Quincy Town Center Community Room. The city will receive and take input on how the community would like to see the program change. Right now, the program loses around $300,000 to $350,000 a year. Usually it's subsidized out of the garbage or the general fund, but with the possibility of an economic downturn, the city wanted to be preemptive about the problem.
With the increase in all of the costs of gas and everything else, and with the prospect of sales taxes being pinched this year, with the recession possibility, we felt we needed to get in front of this and just see what the alternatives could be for recycling.
The city is looking at two options for the future of the program. The first would be to go to a bi-weekly pickup. The second would be to set up recycle sites where you could dump your own recycling. If you'd like to give your input beforehand, a survey has been set up on quincyil.gov. In your community now, if you have a talent you'd like to showcase or are interested in being entertained by local talent, Hannibal's Got Talent is planned this Monday afternoon on July 4th. Whether you're new or native to the area or joining the 67th Annual National Tom Sawyer Days, the Hannibal JCs invite everyone to an afternoon of fun.
Solo and group performances are also welcome. That registration opens at 1 p.m. with performances set to begin at 2 p.m. that afternoon inside the Tanyard Gardens. Online registration is also available. You can do that by going over to HannibalJCs.org. Lots of talent, of course, across the area there singing. I'm sure a lot of other people have got some really good stuff they're going to be showing off during that event, and I think it's going to be great entertainment as well. Even if you're not out there showing off your talent, I think it'll just be fun to go over and watch other people.
I think so too. You know, I love to sing the national anthem at several activities throughout the area. I should just go there. What a perfect day to sing the national anthem on July 4th, right? So sign me up.
That's right. And
I'll sign Kaysen up too. Well, you can get the latest breaking and local news delivered right to your inbox every weekday. All you have to do is sign up for KHQA's newsletter by logging on to KHQA.com.
From around the tri-states, this is KHQA This Morning.
If you are heading out of town this holiday weekend, everyone from the airlines to President Biden's team has advice for you. Be prepared. They expect a crush of passengers, and it doesn't take much these days to upset the system and your plans. Sinclair's chief political correspondent Scott Thuman tonight has answers from the heads of transportation and the airline industry. Move over, Starbucks. This Seattle-based coffee company is offering a coffee alternative made without coffee beans. What? Instead, company uses upcycled date seeds, which through a proprietary process are roasted to taste like cold brew coffee.
And the end result is a more environmentally friendly beverage that uses 94% less water and is closer to carbon neutral. Now, in a taste test, the company claims their beanless cold brew beat traditional cold brew products by a margin of 2 to 1. You can find a can of this beanless cold brew online starting on July 15th. I am in the minority. I do not like coffee and I actually do not drink it, but I wonder if this might be something for me, if I might like the taste a little bit better.
I'm sorry, are you speaking a foreign language? I don't understand what you just said because I'm drinking my coffee right now and I love my coffee beans and I just, I don't even understand or can even interpret what you just said. So I think we're speaking two different languages.
Not a fan of it.
Well, it is a gorgeous morning. Take a look at this. We're not talking about the stories either. I'm talking about that sky. It's now 6:25 a.m. on this Thursday morning. A gorgeous live look at Quincy from our sky cam right here on KHQA This Morning. Lots of news and local headlines and weather coming your way next. A 97-year-old veteran has been trying to receive medals he earned in World War II for 7 decades. His day finally came. Brittany Cadet has the story. It's now 6:31 a.m. on this Thursday, and here is a look at what you can watch live on KHQA.com, including our newscast that you're watching on television. We'll be right back, so stay with us.
From around the Tri-States, this is KHQA This Morning.
Rise and shine, everyone. Good morning. We'd like to thank you so much for joining us and starting your day with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Raja Maples. Believe it or not, it is June 30th. Before we get to the headlines, let's check in with Kason Frericks, covering for Tegan Orpet this morning for a first check of your weather. Kason.
Hi, Raja. Good morning to you, too. Yeah, this month has just kind of flown on by here. Hard to believe this is the last day of June. And
oh, remember June 30th? Remember that date. It'll be a topic for future history tests and also trivia nights. Today, for the first time ever, a black woman is being sworn into the U.S. Supreme Court. Amy Kiley reports. Now, by the way, the court is expected to start releasing its final rulings at around 9 a.m. our time. That planned protest is over a case involving the Environmental Protection Agency. The court could strip it of its power to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants. Another high-profile case deals with immigration. It's all about whether the Biden administration can end the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico border policy. With the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade by the U.S. Supreme Court, the state of Illinois can expect to see an increase of travelers to the state for abortion care. Every state bordering Illinois has already prohibited abortions or is expected to in the upcoming weeks. In 2020, almost 20% of Illinois performed abortions were patients from out of state. This number is expected to increase greatly.
We've been able to proactively take steps to increase our capacity in anticipation of the surge of patients who are forced to travel here for care. And we're expecting to see an influx of up to 20 to 30 times the number of patients who are coming to us from out of state seeking that essential reproductive health care.
The increase in travelers is predicted to not affect the abortion care of Illinois residents. Planned Parenthood of Illinois has 2 new facilities on the Illinois borders of Indiana and Wisconsin, as well as an abortion pill by mail program for Illinois residents. The National Transportation Safety Board is continuing to investigate that deadly Amtrak train derailment in mid-Missouri. The train was traveling from LA to Chicago on Monday when it collided with a dump truck near Mendon, Missouri, killing 4 people. Now, Kermit Miller takes a look at what's being done so far. Meanwhile, impaired driving is not a game. The 4th of July traffic enforcement encourages safe, sober driving. Summer is now in full swing and traffic fatalities are on the rise. The Illinois Department of Transportation is teaming up with the Illinois State Police and law enforcement throughout the state. Drivers will see Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaigns in action through July 5th. We also want to remind you that if your Independence Day plans include fireworks, law enforcement remind people most types of fireworks within city limits are illegal in the state of Illinois. Illinois state statute and a City of Quincy ordinance prohibit not only discharging fireworks, but also the mere possession of them as well. Quincy police warn anyone violating these laws will be subject to a citation and a fine. Police advise people to leave the fireworks to the experts. There will be many holiday closures throughout the city of Quincy as we get closer to the Independence Day. For example, Quincy City Hall and Central Services will close on Monday, July 4th. There will still be garbage, recycling, and yard waste picked up on that day. City Council meeting will take place the next day on Tuesday, July 5th. and transit lines will operate on their holiday and weekend schedules. In your community, it is a 4th of July parade. We are talking about the 67th annual National Tom Sawyer Days. The parade will take place on July 4th. Lineup and registration start at 9 a.m. at Save-A-Lot parking lot. The parade starts at 10 a.m.
And the parade will travel up Broadway and turn left onto North Main Street. Registration is available online at HannibalJCs.org or the morning of the parade in the Save-A-Lot parking lot. Lots of people going to be involved in that parade. Obviously, last year there was plenty of people standing along the side, and I know you, Raja, are going to be a part of the broadcast taking place as we're going to broadcast it live here on KHQA. That's right. Tegan Orpet and I are going to serve as hosts again. We did that last year and had such a great time. We're going to do it again this year. And I know the 4th of July parade in Hannibal is one of the many favorites that we do throughout the year, in addition to the Dogwood Parade that takes place in May. But such a fun time because it's summer. Everyone is just celebrating the gathering and also the fun floats that go throughout America's hometown on this celebration of our country.
The credibility of one of the January 6th committee's star witnesses called into question after reports come out alleging some of her statements simply aren't true. I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington.
6:49 a.m. on this Thursday morning. Excuse me. An ambitious and delicious tech project delivers a pizza-making robot on wheels, and a famous work of art gives auction shoppers something to think about. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This, you're watching KHQA This Morning, so stay with us. Plus, a live, gorgeous look right outside of Tanyard Gardens in Hannibal, where the National Tom Sawyer Days Carnival begins tonight at 5 p.m. It'll continue for the next several days. Always an exciting time, especially for the kids. You can expect carnival rides, and tonight's volleyball tournament, mud volleyball tournament, continues in America's hometown. We'll have much more about all of the activities coming your way in this very exciting time in the Tri-States. Next on KHQA This Morning.
From around the Tri-States, this is KHQA This Morning.
Cutting-edge concepts meet culinary carryout as a group of ex-rocket scientists wade into the world of pizza delivery. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Why is it that scientific strides in robotics always seem to end up in human humiliation? Seriously, our robots dominate us in board games, out-boogie us on the dance floor, even travel from the future to hunt us for sport. But finally, someone has invented a robot with a lofty purpose for the good of mankind. I am, of course, talking about pizza. A team of former rocket scientists and restaurateurs in California have created a fully automated pizza-making robot on wheels that uses complex algorithms to track traffic, schedule its bake, and make the pizzas en route to the customer, pumping out the piping hot pies right on time. This ambitious and delicious concept took years of development and tasty trial and error.
Can't even count the number of pizzas I've eaten.
But these mad scientists say they've cracked the code on high-quality za straight from the oven to your door. Now that's some science you can smile about. Oh, no, you don't have to. Seriously, stop it right now. A wild scene unfolded at a Thai airport when a security checkpoint x-ray revealed a pair of travelers' suitcases contained a literal menagerie of live animals. Porcupines, armadillos, turtles, lizards, and snakes, all alive, were found inside the two pieces of luggage. What were they thinking? Finally, think on this. A cast of Rodin's famous sculpture, The Thinker, will soon hit the auction block, giving art lovers a chance to nab one of the world's most iconic works. Think you're interested? Well, Christie's is thinking it could fetch up to $15 million, so think on that. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
You're taking a live, very exciting look, in my opinion, right outside of Tanyard Gardens in Hannibal, where those are carnival rides, and they're going to get set up today so that the National Tom Sawyer Days Carnival can kick off tonight at 5 o'clock. Of course, that carnival will continue through the next several days, and so many events are planned throughout the next several days, including mud volleyball, and we'll have more. You're watching KHQA This Morning, so stay with us. And I have a great big, very genuine smile on my face because this is such a fun time in the Tri-States. I love summer, I love 4th of July, and I love National Tom Sawyer Days. And I love you at home. Thank you, Kaysen, and thank you for joining us and spending your morning with us. Have a great Thursday.